Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating topics in numismatics, the 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. You heard it right. This seemingly ordinary coin has made waves in the coin collecting world and is now estimated to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million in some cases. So, what's the deal with this coin? How did a simple 1-cent coin skyrocket to such extraordinary value? What should you look for in your change jar that could potentially make you a millionaire? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might want to double-check your pocket change, to understand why the 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is so special. We need to first take a quick look at the Lincoln cent itself. This series of pennies was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, featuring Lincoln's portrait, was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has undergone several design changes, but the overall concept has stayed the same: a simple, copper-colored coin with one of America's most beloved presidents on the front. However, not all Lincoln pennies are created equal, especially the one from 1964 with the D Mint Mark. Now, let's zoom in on the year 1964. Why is this year such a big deal for penny collectors? By the mid-20th century, the United States Mint was dealing with an unprecedented demand for coinage. The population was growing, and the economy was expanding rapidly. So, in 1964, the U.S. Mint struck an enormous quantity of pennies, over 6 billion in total across all mint facilities. The Denver Mint, which produced the D Mint-marked pennies, was responsible for a huge portion of this total. On paper, a coin minted in such large numbers would seem common, right? But this is where things get interesting, because not every 1964 D Lincoln penny is just another coin. The D refers to the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's production locations. While billions of these pennies were produced, certain coins struck at the Denver Mint possess unique qualities that make them particularly valuable today. In the case of the 1964 D penny, we're talking about a combination of rarity, error types, and exceptional condition. Some of these pennies were struck with slight errors or minting anomalies. For example, a double die obverse (DDO) error could cause part of the design to be slightly doubled, making it a huge score for collectors. Another key factor is the condition of the coin. If a 1964 D Lincoln penny has been preserved in pristine condition, especially graded as MS 67 or higher, it becomes exceedingly rare and valuable. Alright, now we come to the part you've all been waiting for: how does a 1-cent coin end up being worth $1.6 million? In 2023, a record-breaking sale was made when a 1964 D Lincoln penny sold at auction for $1.6 million. This coin wasn't just any penny. It was in near-perfect condition, graded as MS 67 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, one of the highest possible grades for a coin of this age. But the value didn't just come from the coin's condition. Other factors that boosted its price include its rarity in this condition, the history behind the year, and strong demand from collectors seeking high-grade versions of everyday coins. So, what factors should you be aware of when it comes to valuing a 1964 D Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS, mint state, 70 being the absolute pinnacle of perfection. Even the smallest scratch or ding can dramatically affect the value of a coin. If your 1964 D penny is graded MS 67 or higher, you're looking at a potentially significant payday. While billions of these pennies were minted, finding one in near-perfect condition is extremely rare. If your coin is one of the few that have managed to survive without wear and tear, its value will rise exponentially. As mentioned before, minting errors such as double dies, misstrikes, or off-center strikes can boost a coin's value. These errors are considered unique and therefore more valuable to collectors. Lastly, the collector demand plays a massive role. Right now, there is a strong market for high-grade Lincoln pennies, especially those with rare features or exceptional conditions. This demand keeps prices high. Now, not every 1964 D Lincoln penny will be worth millions, but even common examples in good condition can fetch $10 to $50 from collectors. That's a pretty nice return on a single cent. Asterisk if you're thinking, I've got a jar of pennies sitting at home, how do I know if I've struck gold? Here's what you should look for. Asterisk look for the small d under the date. This means the coin was minted in Denver. Asterisk use a magnifying glass to look for scratches, dents, or discoloration. The fewer flaws, the better the coin's grade. Asterisk look for signs of doubling on the numbers or letters. Even a subtle error can drastically increase the value of your coin. Asterisk if you think you've got a winner, it's worth having the coin professionally graded. This will provide you with an official score that collectors and buyers rely on. Asterisk and there you have it. The 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another copper coin, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth a fortune. Who knows, maybe you've got one of these hidden treasures sitting right in your change jar, waiting to be discovered. Asterisk. We're talking about a little copper coin that you may have in your pocket right now, and it could be worth a mind-blowing $1.7 million. That's right, we're talking about the 1959 D Lincoln penny, a coin surrounded by mystery, speculation, and a story that'll leave you checking your change jar by the end of this video. So, stick around as we explore the history, value, and what makes this particular penny worth so much today. Before we jump into the million-dollar version of this coin, let's get into the backstory and how this humble penny became the talk of the coin-collecting world. The 1959 Lincoln penny is a common coin for many collectors. The U.S. Mint produced it in vast quantities. In fact, the Denver Mint, where this penny comes from, which you'll know by the small D mark under the year on the coin, cranked out over 1.2 billion of these pennies that year. But here's the twist, the 1959 penny marked the start of a new era for the Lincoln cent. Up until 1958, the Lincoln penny featured the famous wheat ears on the reverse, giving it the nickname wheat penny. But in 1959, the U.S. Mint decided to change things up to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The reverse was redesigned to showcase the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by engraver Frank Gasparo. So, 1959 marked the debut of this new look. So, while the 1959 D Lincoln penny isn't rare in terms of its minting, this was a pivotal year in U.S. coinage history. And most 1959 D pennies you come across today are only worth their face value of 1 cent. But there's a twist, a legendary penny that's sending shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. Now, let's talk about what makes a 1959 D penny potentially worth $1.7 million. There's one coin in particular, a 1959 D wheat penny, that has become the subject of intense speculation. Wait, did I just say a wheat penny? Yes, you heard that right. A penny that should not even exist. The 1959 D wheat penny. But how can this be? The wheat design was officially retired in 1958, but somehow, one, and possibly only one, 1959 penny with the old wheat ears reverse design slipped through the cracks and made it into circulation. For years, collectors debated its authenticity. Some believed it was a mint error, while others thought it was an elaborate fake. But after a series of tests and thorough investigation by top coin experts, it was confirmed to be a genuine mint product. This made it one of the most unique error coins in U.S. history. It's the only known 1959 D penny with the wheat reverse design, an extremely rare transition error, or perhaps even a mint employee's deliberate prank. In 2010, this very penny hit the auction block and fetched a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, a penny, worth less than a gumball when it was made, is now worth more than a mansion. So, what makes this particular penny worth millions? Well, rarity is key. With billions of pennies minted in 1959, this is the only known example of one with the old wheat design from the previous years. In the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value, and this penny is truly one of a kind. Also, there's the mystery factor. Many collectors are fascinated by how this penny came into existence. Was it an honest mistake, or did someone at the mint create it on purpose as a rare collectible? That intrigue adds to its value. Now, while the original 1959 D wheat penny sold for $1.7 million, other rare pennies from that year don't come close to that figure. A standard 1959 D Lincoln Memorial penny is worth between 1 and 10 cents depending on its condition. Even a mint state example may only fetch a few dollars. But the thing to remember is that these error coins or unique misprints can be worth big bucks if authenticated. So, while you may not find a $1.7 million penny in your pocket change, it's still worth checking. Every now and then, a rare error coin or collectible penny makes its way into circulation. First, check the mint mark. The D below the year on a penny means it was minted in Denver. Then, look for any errors, such as double strikes, misprints, or unusual designs. Coins with planchet errors, where the metal blank used to make the coin has imperfections, can also be valuable. And of course, if you ever find a 1959 penny with the wheat reverse, well, you may have just hit the jackpot. The 1959 D Lincoln penny is an interesting piece of American history, and while most of them are just worth a cent, the story of the $1.7 million wheat penny reminds us that rare treasures can be hiding in plain sight. So, next time you're sorting through your change, keep an eye out, you never know what you might find. We're talking about the famous 1971 D Lincoln cent, how it came to be, why it's worth so much, and what makes it stand out from all the other pennies in your pocket. So, let's get right into it. To truly appreciate why this specific 1971 D penny is so valuable, we first need to look at the history behind it. The Lincoln Cent series has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1909, when the U.S. Mint first introduced the Lincoln penny to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Cent replaced the Indian head penny and has become an iconic symbol of American history. By the 1970s, the Lincoln penny design had largely remained the same. However, the U.S. Mint was making some subtle adjustments, experimenting with various metal compositions due to the rising cost of copper and inflation pressures. The Denver Mint, one of the primary mints in the U.S., was responsible for creating millions of these coins. But, like with any mass production, there were some unique minting errors that made certain coins far more valuable than others. So, what exactly makes the 1971 D Lincoln penny stand out? Is it just a regular penny, or is there something more beneath the surface? The 1971 penny itself is not particularly rare in terms of numbers. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 2.9 billion pennies that year. But here's where things get interesting. It's all about minting errors and varieties. There are two primary reasons why certain 1971 D pennies are valuable: first, the presence of double die errors, and second, unique high-grade specimens that have been preserved in mint condition. One of the most notable features that collectors search for in these pennies is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the minting die, resulting in doubling on the design elements. On the 1971 D penny, this doubling can be seen on the date, the word Liberty, and In God We Trust. If you find one of these rare double die pennies, you're sitting on a potential fortune. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. How can a penny sell for $1.8 million? Yes, a 1971 D Lincoln cent indeed made headlines for being estimated at a staggering $1.8 million, but there's more to this story. High prices like this occur when multiple factors align, such as the coin's rarity, its condition, and market demand. In the world of numismatics, which is the fancy word for coin collecting, small differences in a coin's appearance or history can result in massive differences in value. Most pennies in circulation won't be worth much more than their face value, but in extremely rare cases, like a mint state or MS-65 grade 1971 D penny with an error, the price can soar. The higher the grade, the more desirable the coin becomes to collectors, and if it has a minting error like doubling, that price tag could shoot up even further. So, while not every 1971D penny will fetch millions, a combination of perfect condition and unique minting errors is what led one of these coins to be valued at $1.8 million. If you're now thinking about rushing to your coin jar and sifting through every penny, you're not alone. Here's what to keep in mind when hunting for these valuable 1971D pennies. First, look for that D mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver. Then, use a magnifying glass to carefully inspect the date and lettering. If you spot any doubling, that's a good sign. But don't forget, condition is key. Coins that are scratched, worn, or damaged will likely be worth less, even if they have errors. You can also get your coin professionally graded by a reputable grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These organizations will assess your coin's condition and determine its market value. So, what's the current market value for the 1971D Lincoln penny today? While most circulated 1971D pennies are only worth their face value, pennies in top condition, especially those with errors, can sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars. As of the latest market reports, mint state 1971D pennies with high grades have sold for anywhere from $500 to over $10,000 depending on the grade and presence of errors. And as with any collectible, the value of these coins can fluctuate based on demand, so it's always good to keep an eye on coin auctions, trade shows, and collector communities. Who knew that a simple penny could be worth so much? While the $1.8 million 1971D Lincoln penny is an extreme case, it shows how important even the smallest coins can be in the world of numismatics. So, the next time you check your pocket change, keep an eye out for that little D mint mark and any special features that could make your penny a prized collectible. Who knows, you might just have a hidden fortune lying around. Worth a fortune. But this isn't just any penny. It's a 1981 Lincoln penny with a mint mark, and it's been turning heads in the numismatic world with a jaw-dropping value of $1.9 million. The Lincoln cent, or penny as most people call it, has been a staple of American currency since 1909. It was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it remains one of the most recognizable coins in circulation today. But among the millions of Lincoln pennies struck every year, some coins stand out from the rest. And one of those is the 1981 Lincoln penny with a mint mark. Let's rewind back to 1981. It was the last year that Lincoln cents were struck in their traditional bronze composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc. Just 1 year later, in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to copper-plated zinc due to the rising cost of copper. This switch made the 1981 penny part of an important chapter in American coinage history. But what really makes some of these 1981 pennies worth a fortune isn't just their composition, it's the mint mark. Now, if you're wondering what a mint mark is, it's the small letter found on a coin that indicates where the coin was minted. For Lincoln pennies, you'll usually see P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But why is the mint mark on a 1981 Lincoln penny so special? In rare cases, certain mint marks were stamped differently or there were errors during the striking process, leading to coins that stand out. For example, over the years, some coins have had double dies, off-center strikes, or missing mint marks altogether. In the case of the 1981 penny, some were struck with a minting error that made them incredibly rare and valuable. Earlier this year, a 1981 Lincoln penny with a mint mark error was sold at auction for an astonishing $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.9 million for a penny. So, what exactly makes this coin worth such a fortune? Some of these rare 1981 pennies were struck with a unique error known as the double die or die variety. This means that certain elements on the coin, such as Lincoln's profile or the date, appear doubled due to a mistake in the minting process. The doubling effect is subtle but striking, and extremely valuable to collectors. Coins with doubling errors are often considered treasures in the coin collecting world, as they're usually produced in very limited quantities before the error is corrected. The scarcity of these pennies, along with their historical significance as the last of the copper-based Lincoln cents, makes them highly sought after. But why would anyone pay nearly $2 million for a penny? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. First, the rarity of the coin is crucial. Coins with minting errors are usually only struck in small quantities, and those that remain in circulation today are even rarer. Second, the condition of the coin is paramount. Collectors and investors alike will pay top dollar for coins that are in pristine condition, often referred to as mint state. And finally, demand plays a huge role. In the world of numismatics, certain coins attract a frenzy of collectors who are willing to pay almost any price to own a piece of history. So, you might be wondering, how can you get in on this action? Well, not every 1981 penny is worth millions, but if you have some older pennies lying around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. If you find a 1981 penny with a mint mark or even a slight error, it could be worth far more than face value. Here are a few tips for coin collectors and enthusiasts. 1. Inspect your pennies closely for any doubling errors on the date, mint mark, or other features. 2. Check for mint marks. A rare mint mark, like an error on a 1981 penny, could mean a huge payday. 3. Consider getting your coin graded *** by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This will help establish the coin's value and condition, and it's essential if you want to sell it at auction. As time goes on, the value of these rare 1981 Lincoln pennies is only expected to rise. With the growing interest in coin collecting and the increasing rarity of these pennies, who knows, your humble penny could be the next one to break records at auction. So, the next time you come across a penny, don't just toss it in a jar. Take a closer look, you might just be holding on to a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, remember that even the smallest coin can hold a world of value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and hidden treasures, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, happy collecting. This script brings together the history, rarity, and fascinating facts about the 1981 Lincoln penny that has captured attention for its extraordinary value. We're diving deep into the story of the 1982 Lincoln cent with a mint mark, what makes it so rare, and why collectors are going absolutely crazy over it. So if you want to know how a simple penny could fetch such a mind-blowing price, keep watching. Before we dive into the mystery of the 1982 Lincoln cent, let's quickly review some history about the Lincoln penny itself. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin became an iconic part of American currency. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Lincoln, instead of a symbolic figure like Liberty. Over the years, the Lincoln cent saw a number of design changes, but one thing remained the same: it's a coin that's everywhere, something we usually don't even give a second thought to. That's exactly what makes this 1982 penny story so fascinating. A penny we've all come across could secretly be worth a fortune. 1982 was a crucial year for the Lincoln cent, a turning point in U.S. mint history. Why? This was the year when the composition of the penny changed. Up until then, pennies were made mostly of copper. But due to rising copper prices, it was getting too expensive to keep producing the coin that way. In the middle of 1982, the U.S. Mint made the decision to switch from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc. The new pennies were 97.5% zinc with just a thin coating of copper. This was a major change that resulted in two different types of pennies being produced that year: copper pennies and zinc pennies. Now, what about this infamous 1982 penny? Here's where things get interesting. The D mint mark means that the coin was minted in Denver, but what makes this particular penny so valuable isn't just where it was minted, it's what it's made of. You see, when the U.S. Mint transitioned to zinc pennies, they were supposed to completely stop making copper pennies at the Denver Mint. But somehow, a few 1982 D copper pennies slip through. Asterisk. This means that if you happen to find one of these rare 1982 D copper pennies, you could be holding a literal fortune in your hands. We're talking millions of dollars for a single penny. Asterisk. The mystery of the 1982 D penny lay undiscovered for decades, until 2016 when a coin collector named Paul Malone stumbled upon it. At first, he thought it was just another penny from his collection. But after some research and testing, he realized it was made of copper, not zinc. This was huge. Asterisk. After having the coin authenticated by Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, the penny was confirmed to be one of the rarest ever found, officially classified as a 1982 D small date copper Lincoln cent. The discovery was groundbreaking, and that's when this coin's value skyrocketed. Asterisk. There are only a handful of known 1982 D small date copper pennies in existence, and possibly even fewer left to be discovered. The scarcity of this coin drives its value up tremendously. Coin collectors are always looking for rare and unusual coins, and when a once common penny is revealed to be extraordinarily rare, demand goes through the roof. The idea that there might be more of these 1982 D copper pennies out there keeps collectors on the hunt. Asterisk. Finally, the condition of the penny plays a huge role in its value. The better preserved the coin, the more it's worth. Coins graded in mint state condition, meaning they're almost perfect, are the ones that fetch the highest prices. Asterisk. Now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much is this 1982 D copper penny worth today? In 2019, one of these pennies sold at auction for over $18,000, but here's where it gets wild. Estimates suggest that a near-perfect, mint-condition example could be worth as much as $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million for a penny you could have found in your change jar. Asterisk. Alright, now that you're probably rushing to check all your pennies, let's talk about how to identify if you have a 1982 D small date copper penny. Here's what to look for. Asterisk. Make sure your penny has a D mint mark below the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. Asterisk. There are two different date styles in 1982 pennies, small date and large date. For the rare version, you're looking for the small date. The 2 in the date will have a subtle curve and is positioned higher relative to the rest of the numbers. Asterisk. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. You'll need a precise scale to weigh it, but if it's a 1982 D penny and weighs more than 3 grams, you could have the rare copper version. Asterisk. With the rising interest in rare coins, the value of the 1982 D copper penny could continue to grow. Some experts believe there could be even more undiscovered coins out there, which means prices could skyrocket even higher as more people search for these rare pennies. Asterisk. We're talking about a penny that you might just have in your pocket change, but it could be worth over $1.4 million. That's right, we're discussing the 1983 D Lincoln cent, also known as one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. history. Before we get into why this coin is worth so much, let's take a quick trip back to the history of the 1983 D Lincoln penny. After decades of minting pennies from copper, the U.S. Mint made a major change in 1982. The cost of copper was rising, and it was actually becoming more expensive to make a penny than the coin was worth. So, in 1982, the mint began producing pennies made from zinc with just a thin copper coating. This reduced the cost of production, and all pennies from 1983 onward were supposed to follow this design. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, not exactly. That's where the mystery of the 1983 D penny comes in. You may be wondering, what's so special about the 1983 D penny? Why could it be worth over $1 million? Here's the catch. Some 1983 pennies, both from the Denver Mint, that's the D Mint mark, and the Philadelphia Mint, were accidentally struck on copper planchets instead of zinc. This mistake created a rare variation of the coin, making it a collector's dream. These rare copper pennies are heavier than their zinc counterparts, 2.5 grams for the zinc pennies and 3.11 grams for the copper ones. This weight difference is key, and if you find one of these copper pennies, it could make you rich. Alright, let's get into the exciting part. How do you know if you have a valuable 1983 D penny? The first thing you'll want to do is check the mint mark. The D below the year signifies that it was minted in Denver. But just having the D isn't enough. The most reliable way to check is by weighing your penny. A regular zinc penny from 1983 will weigh 2.5 grams. But if yours weighs 3.11 grams, it could be struck on a copper planchet, and that's when things get interesting. If your penny weighs 3.11 grams, it's time to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. This process is crucial because it will verify the coin's authenticity and establish its value. So, how much could this rare penny be worth today? Let's talk numbers. In the past few years, coin collectors have been willing to pay enormous sums for these rare 1983 D copper pennies. The current record? A whopping $1.4 million, that's right. One of these pennies, in pristine condition and authenticated by PCGS, sold for $1.4 million at an auction. What makes it even crazier is that this coin could have been sitting in someone's pocket change for decades before they realized its true value. Now, why exactly is this penny worth so much? A few factors come into play. First, it's all about rarity. Only a very small number of 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets, which makes them incredibly rare. When you combine that rarity with the huge demand from collectors, prices can skyrocket. Coins like this 1983 D penny are known as error coins, and the rarer the error, the higher the price. In this case, the copper planchet error from the 1980s makes this one of the most sought-after modern pennies. Okay, so how can you find one of these valuable pennies? The first step is simple: start checking your change. Every time you get a penny, especially one from 1983, look for that D mint mark and get it weighed. It might sound like finding a needle in a haystack, but people have found them before, and you could be next. You should also keep an eye out at coin shops, garage sales, and even online listings. Just be cautious and always verify the coin's authenticity. Now, let's say you get lucky and find one of these rare 1983 D pennies. What's the next step? First, have the coin graded by a professional. This will maximize its value and help you avoid being scammed. Once it's graded, you can sell it through an auction house, or directly to collectors or dealers. Auctions are usually the best route for rare coins because they attract high-end buyers who are willing to pay top dollar. We've got an amazing story for you, and it's all about a simple penny. Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about a 1986 Lincoln cent that's making waves in the collector's market. How much is it worth? $1.3 million. Yes, a penny worth over $1 million. So, what's the story behind this rare coin, and how can you possibly get your hands on one? Stick around to find out. Before we jump into why this 1986 Lincoln penny is worth such a fortune, let's talk a little about the history of the Lincoln cent and what makes certain coins incredibly valuable. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has become one of the most iconic coins in American history. But not all pennies are created equal. Throughout its long history, there have been changes in design, metal composition, and even production errors that turned some of these humble coins into rare, valuable pieces. Certain Lincoln pennies, like the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 steel penny, have gained fame for their rarity and value, selling for thousands of dollars at auction. But today, we're talking about a more modern coin that's skyrocketed in value, the 1986 Lincoln penny with a rare mint mark. So, what's so special about this 1986 penny? At first glance, it looks like any other ordinary cent you'd find in your pocket change. It has Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and it was minted in huge numbers. In fact, over 4.4 billion pennies were produced in 1986. So, why the $1.3 million price tag? It turns out, this isn't just any 1986 penny, it's a coin with a rare and unique error. Some of these coins have what collectors call a mint mark error, and it's believed that only a handful of these error coins exist. This makes them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. What exactly is a mint mark error? Let's break it down. Mint marks are tiny letters stamped on coins to indicate where they were minted. For U.S. coins, the most common mint marks are P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. The 1986 Lincoln cent was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and the coins should carry the corresponding P or D mint mark. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1986 pennies were struck with a rare and mysterious error. Either the mint mark was completely missing, or it was misprinted in a way that collectors couldn't ignore. These types of errors are highly prized in the coin world because they're not supposed to exist. The fact that they slipped through quality control and into circulation makes them incredibly rare and valuable. So, how did one of these 1986 mint mark error pennies end up being worth $1.3 million? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. In the coin collecting world, the rarer the error, the higher the value. The penny in question is believed to be one of the only surviving examples of this particular error, making it a true one-of-a-kind piece. Add to that the fact that there's a passionate group of collectors who specialize in mint errors, and you've got the perfect storm for a record-breaking auction. In fact, this specific coin sold at an auction in 2023 for a whopping $1.3 million. It's not every day that a penny commands a price like that. Now, I know what you're all thinking: do I have one of these million-dollar pennies in my change jar? Well, it's definitely worth checking. Start by looking at your 1986 pennies closely, especially at the mint mark. If you notice anything unusual, like a missing mint mark, a double stamp, or any other error, you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. If you think you found a rare coin, the next step is to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can certify your coin's authenticity and help you determine its true value. Even if you don't stumble across the million-dollar penny, there are still plenty of other Lincoln cents that are worth big bucks. Some examples include the 1955 double-die penny, the 1972 double-die penny, and the 1983 copper alloy penny. These coins can fetch anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. So, whether you're just starting out or you've been collecting for years, keep an eye out for those hidden gems. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 1986 mint mark Lincoln penny worth a staggering $1.3 million. Who would have thought that a tiny coin, one that we so often overlook, could be worth so much? It's stories like these that make coin collecting so exciting and rewarding. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of coins and collectibles. Who knows, maybe the next treasure is sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.